Guys, welcome back. Today we're going to talk about the most common handstand mistake. I see this mistake all the goddamn time and I'm getting actually quite sick of it, especially if I already told you what to do to fix this mistake, right? So basically, quickly, of course, I'm a breakdancer. This is not new for you guys. I teach classes, b-boying to both adults and kids. But I also work with the circus. I help basically people get better at tumbling, cartwheels, and stuff like handstands. I work also sometimes with acrobats. And I encounter the same damn problem every time. That is that people think a handstand is about balance. They do a handstand like this, everything's pretty much perfect, and they go back to their feet, and they wonder why they can't do more than 10 seconds after, like, even, sometimes they're years in, right? They can do perfect press handstand technique against the wall. They still can't do the handstand. The handstand is of course about balance to an extent, but it's just about holding yourself up when you fall. As soon as you learn this, you basically unlock real handstands and you can start working on the next level. So there are two versions of this. First, let's talk about the first level, and maybe you do some other thing that you cannot do this technique, or your coach will whip you, right? Say, no, that's a wrong technique, we don't do that. I don't want you to get in trouble, but basically he's wrong. You should learn both ways. Both ways. That's the way. But I'm teach basically both ways. But the second way I'm going to teach is way harder. I actually kind of advise against it, especially if you're a beginner. Don't worry. Once you unlock the first way, which shouldn't take more than a month, and you should be able to stand for like 10, 20, 30 seconds, you can start working on the second way. Easy peasy, guys. Especially if you're already a year in or some shit. You can already do even press handstand. You still can't hold the handstand. You already did the hard work. Now you've got to do the work that you simply hold yourself up. So the first way is very easy. Take a look at this little handstand I'm doing right now. Going up, everything's fine, and then go back to my feet. This was a wrong attempt. Why? Because when I fell back to my feet, or went back to my feet, I didn't try to hold myself up. You need to do this every damn time till it clicks and your body understands what to do. So it's very simple. It's almost like you want to start to do a push-up, but you don't. Then you push yourself back up to the handstands. So yes, you slightly bend your arms. You might find this very ugly. As a b-boy, it's actually quite useful, right? We on our head, for instance, want to do up, air flap, whatever, right? So we use this all the time to push up. But you might find this ugly. You might have some thing that, you know, they don't want you to do this, but you should learn it anyway. You should be able to do basically both ways, guys. So that's all it is. So what you're going to do, if you fall down, is very simple, this. Oh no, don't fall down. And now you have to learn to push yourself back up in the handstand so you don't actually really fall. You just slightly correct yourself whenever you fall. You don't have to do anything if you don't fall. One thing about this is that sometimes people do this and they fall and they push out like that. That's because you don't put your hands back under your shoulders and up. So make sure you do that. Then all the time, if you fall to the back, it's basically the same. Try to avoid this, but basically you work with the fingers. You push with the fingers on the floor and push yourself back. Usually this is not even the problem. The problem is that when people fall back to their feet, they don't know how to hold themselves. So that's the one way. Practice this. It's easy, guys. Like you do 3 times a day. Try the handstand a couple of times. Don't even think about training hours. Just 1 minute. Okay, try the handstand and try to do this every time. Never just go from your hands back to your feet without trying this, and it will click, and then all of a sudden you start to stand longer and longer and longer, right? And then at some point you just unlock how to slightly correct yourself like this, and you'll be able to stand for 10, 20, 30 seconds. You can actually start moving on to the next technique. Or if you want, you can just start with this one, but I highly advise against it. Yet again, as a lot of basically things, even with acrobatics, but basically you want to learn both ways. But the other way is basically when you push away from the floor, so your hands are on the floor like this. Your shoulders need to now go out of your body. You need to understand how to do that. It's really easy. Watch this. See, my shoulders actually in front of my body. Then all you have to do is really lightly, slightly push up the whole time, non-stop. So what will happen, I never have to bend my arms because I will never fall back to the feet. Why? Because I always push away from the floor. So this is the push away technique. This is what basically you need to learn if you want to take it to the next level. And it looks like this. See, I'll always push up. I never have to bend my elbows because I'm pushing away from the floor slightly. The problem is you have to do more with the fingers, and it's way, way harder, guys. So That's it. That's all you need to learn. You start with the first one, you unlock it in, I would say in a mod you probably unlock it and can do the handstand for 10-15 seconds already. If you can't, even though you unlocked it, it's because you don't breathe. You need to understand that when you're in the handstand, you don't need to do anything but to relax and breathe, guys. And then the other way is then the next step that you take, or you can just straight up do the other way. It's not even advisable in my opinion, but hey, do whatever you want. So even if you can already do something like a press handstand or something like that, it's totally fine. It's not wrong, right? That's awesome. But you have to be able to hold your handstand. If you're like, oh, I've been in, because a lot of these like females that are in these circles, they do something with these like you call hammock, right? Something like they crawl in with, but it's still an acrobatic skill. And as an acrobat, you just have to learn a handstand, guys. It's a super easy concept. It's not hard at all. Everybody can do a handstand, but you have to be able to hold the handstand. Simply work like that, either by bending this or pushing away. And in both ways, if you fall to the back, you work with the fingers. It's not really easy. It's not really hard. Also, sometimes I work with these girls at the circus, and I even think that, man, I'm actually good because I can do all this crap, right? It's totally normal skills for any acrobat, for any, like it's easy stuff. Just work every day. Working against the wall, not wrong. Working on press handstands, not wrong. But you have to be able to hold your handstand, and you do it with this. That's the most common mistake. I see it all the time. Sometimes I already tell them 40 times, no, you're doing the handstand fine, you're just not correcting yourself when you fall. So you will always at some point fall, right? Just learn this, boom, it's easy. See you next time.